Now you're playing with podcast.
And go.
Welcome to Now You're Playing with Podcast, lucky episode number 7. This month episode, we are joined by a friend of mine. We met through our wives who work together at a library, and I'll just say it as Mr. Teppei Kiyosue. I'm terrible with pronunciations.
No.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Good,
It's
Kiyosue?
great. It was
Okay.
perfect. Yeah.
Teppei is pretty easy. I can get that part.
Yeah.
You know, if it's rude to make fun of Asian people that can't do L's and R's, it's rude to make fun of Midwesterners who can't pronounce Asian words. So I think it all works around. So we met through our wives who work together. You're my age. You were born in 76?
77.
You were born in 77, so okay.
Because I was born in February.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
But basically the same
I'm like
age,
4
yeah.
months older than you. I was born in September.
Yeah.
But we're basically the same age. So
Yeah.
you know, growing up across an ocean, yet both of us can probably honestly say that Nintendo was a big part of our childhoods.
It was.
So that's why I had you here, because I want to talk about video games in the 80s in Japan, and where it was. I mean, it was huge here, but over there, I mean, it was even. Was it you? Would it even be bigger? You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know about how it was in America. But I mean, it was.
But I'm always surprised to hear that how big it was here.
Yeah.
And I teach Japanese, so like I always like hear how big it was, like here in the United States. And
I'm sure half of your department is there because of video games. Japanese video
Yeah.
games. By the way, Tatton's here too. He's
I'm here. I'm up.
he's on the ones and twos, as they say, in podcasting parlance. So yeah, let's just get into it. How old were you when you got your first Nintendo, or let's just talk about video games in general, about your history with them and what you remember.
The first time,
Well, when did you get
I
it?
would-
When did you get your Famicom, or is it Famicom?
I think I was in the 3rd grade.
3rd grade.
And then I have an older brother. He's 3 years older than I am.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in 6th grade, and I was in the 3rd grade. That was the first time.
Right.
The Famicom.
What was the first game that you remember playing?
The very first game. Oh my gosh, I can't.
Did you get it? Did your brother really want it and you just tagged along, or were you really itching to get one? Or were you both itching to get one?
No, my brother got one, and then I was basically like watching him playing the games like all the time. So that's probably one of the main reasons I don't really remember.
Did you play like any coin ops in any like convenience stores or anything like that before? Were you aware of video games before you got them? Before in your house?
I was. I mean, and my dad had this NEC 88 something.
Yeah, like I think the 8088.
Oh wow, yeah.
The computer, and then we were actually playing video games before Famicom.
Okay.
Using that NEC computer, and then I remember my brother was actually doing a little bit of the programming too.
Right.
Oh wow.
He subscribed the
like
forgot
basic.
the name. Yeah, the computer monthly computer magazine, and it comes with the programming.
They would write down the programs, and then you'd have to type them in. They had those here too.
I wish I'd brought it. We went to a convention back in January and found a whole bunch of the Nintendo version of those that had like the basic games in the middle that you could program, which was awesome.
So,
we got that. We got like the keyboard for the Famicom and the basic cart and everything.
So let's get this out of the way. What did your brother end up going into in life? Did the learning how to do basic computing help him in his profession?
No, he's an elementary school teacher. And
okay, that's respectable. They do, yeah.
I don't know how much, but I remember like he was really into it. I think he like spent like hours and hours every day.
Yeah.
And then our parents were not the parents like who just like I don't know, like the yell at their kids and then like stop, like the playing. There was the computers.
Get
and then,
right.
Yeah,
They encouraged it, or did they just not care?
They just don't really care. Just like no matter how many hours like he like spent,
it's
for programming. They didn't care. So,
when I was a kid, it's just nice being able to lose yourself in an obsession like that.
Yeah, we definitely had that.
Right.
The good like the family environment that we could just do like whatever we wanted to.
So did your speaking of your parents, did they ever play any of this stuff? Because I see like an article about a 90-year-old Japanese woman that still plays her Famicom Bomberman constantly or something. And
I don't think so.
No,
I don't think they ever played
or just because my dad played golf games.
Did you
or my mom would play Tetris. But they wouldn't do much else. But there occasionally the one or two would come through that they'd play with us.
Did you play with them like when you were a kid? The sport game or
my dad my dad would
game?
do we had an Intellivision before we had Nintendo, and we would do bowling and golf.
Okay.
My mom would play games like we didn't have Pac-Man, we had Mousetrap, which was similar to Pac-Man, and she'd play that for hours on end sometimes, like on a Sunday or something.
Okay.
But we wouldn't play. She'd play it, and we'd watch her play. But video games aren't really something you play together a ton. You do sometimes, but you see those old pictures of the whole family sitting in front of the television with the video game system with those phony smiles on their mouths
and everything nowadays. You always see the commercial that the whole family members are playing together.
So there's some of that, but it's a little those commercials are exaggerated.
Yeah.
So it was mostly just something to keep you guys occupied in the house, basically.
My parents didn't really.
Not that there was a youth a drug culture, something that the kids could be corrupted by, like there was in the States. I'm sure you didn't have the just say no thing and all that. Or did you? Where'd you grow up? I guess should even go back further to the origins. No, I don't know much Japanese geography, but where'd you grow up?
So when we got the first Famicom, we were in Kyoto.
Okay.
Which is in the middle part of Japan.
Okay.
The middle part of the main island.
Right.
The historical city. So it's Kyoto is kind of like the Boston.
Oh, hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Because it was the old capital before the Meiji era, right?
Yeah. It was in the Asian capital. Yes.
Is it as beautiful as everybody says?
What's that?
Is it as beautiful as everybody says?
Definitely to me, yeah. It's not that I have been everywhere in Japan, but to me, as Kyoto is definitely one of the most beautiful places in Japan, and then to me, in the world too. Yeah.
Where do you? So do you call it your nostalgic hometown? I grew up in Cincinnati, so I still consider Cincinnati my home and gravitate toward that. But I live in Columbus, and it's a completely different culture here, even though we're only 100 miles apart. But do you?
Nice.
Do you still call that your home, or do you? Where does your family live now? Because don't you?
We have a hometown in Nara. Which is right next to Kyoto.
Mm-hmm.
So I call that the Nara and Kyoto, that region.
That's still your home. You still okay?
Yes.
Did you move around a lot?
I did. I was born in northeast part of Japan, and then we actually moved everywhere. We moved to Nagoya. The big city in main island, and then moved again to the Kyushu, the South Island, and then came back to Kyoto.
Was there a lot of culture shock going back and forth to that degree?
I actually don't remember that.
I
had my brother seemed to have a hard time to adjust new places, but
he was older.
I think so. I think
it's
easier for the second kid to to get used to the new.
And the culture differences in this country because you went to school in West Virginia at Marshall, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, you kind of know West Virginia Appalachian culture.
Yeah.
And you kind of
and then my wife is from that area,
yeah.
so like that.
Your Jappalachian kid,
Yeah,
which I love her.
Yeah, but I still want to call that the small city in West Virginia, Huntington.
Mm-hmm.
I would still want to call that as the home, the hometown in the United States.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So
I have that much like emotional attachment.
obviously,
to
yeah.
it.
I mean, you go to college there, you meet your wife there. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I got met her there. And I was there for 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Do you like Columbus?
I love it.
You like the states in general, or
I love the United States.
But you're planning on going back someday, or are you staying here?
No, we used to, but now we were just planning to settle down here in Columbus. Yeah.
Well, enough of the. Let's go back to video games.
Yeah.
So when you guys got your first Famicom, was it the same style as the one here, like with the disc drive and the cartridges, or was it just the one that took the cartridges?
What was that?
Did it have the discs in the front, or was it just the cartridge style?
The cartridge style.
The disc drive is separate.
Yeah, this one. Because these ones, the exactly the same thing. I used to have in Japan when I was a kid.
Gotcha.
Because these are from Japan.
Right.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I think I got those from a store in Hong Kong.
That's
but yeah.
fine. Like the minute I saw these, I mean, I got all these emotional, nostalgic feelings.
Right.
Oh my gosh! I mean, especially I see these in the United States. I mean, it was so like nice of you to get one.
Yeah, I bought Teppei a Famicom
Japanese
a couple years ago for
one,
Christmas.
right?
Because he'd seen mine. He'd come to my house one time, and he came to the basement. It's like, is that what I think it is? And he was like really all giddy and getting all like, you could see the 12-year-old in him light up.
Yeah,
again.
I mean, and that is not only me. Like one time, like I invited like all my Japanese friends, like from my school, to my apartment, and then everybody got the same reaction. Like, oh
Which
my
is
gosh, like
awesome.
how? Yeah,
I love that feeling.
Yeah. How did you acquire that?
Gotta love eBay. I mean, this stuff was totally clueless before, some eBay and internet and all that kind of thing. You knew it was made. You knew the Nintendo was made in Japan, and you knew they had their own version, but you didn't know what it looked like. You didn't know that you see our version down there, that VCR looking thing.
And it's special, like the code too, so that you can like directly hook it up to the TV. I don't know how you call that code, like that has
the red and white.
3D, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, the NES, the one the American version had that built in. The Japanese version was just through the television receiver.
When I was a kid, you couldn't just like connect your Famicom to your TV like that.
Yeah.
So. I remember I have to.
There's like a little switch.
Yeah, switch.
RF switch.
Like a little coil, the brown. I don't know.
I actually wish I had it. I had one of those in the trunk of my old car for a long time because it came with mine, and I never used it.
You have to go, go see like back of the TV, and then you have to like tight those.
There's a little screw for like the end. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That was just like.
Like
they're so like hard for little kids to like set it up. So that's another reason.
And there were the rumors in this country, at least, where video games would ruin your TV set if you left them on. Because the really old systems, like the Pong systems and whatnot, they would actually burn in the TV. So everybody was afraid that the Nintendos and that would do that too. But they kind of fixed that problem. But that's kind of funny that rumor persisted for years. Did you ever hear that before?
No.
No.
Well, it's funny because it did on projection televisions. because our friend had a really old projection TV, and his dad loved Super Mario Brothers. Like, he played it all the time, and so you turn the projection TV on, you turn the news on, and you'd see like the little score up at the top, like kind of burned in, like the left part of the zeros, and then just kind of like a blur of numbers after it, and like the lives and stuff. It was hilarious.
You see that in like arcade machines too, like the stand-up arcade machines. Yeah, I'm sure like if those aren't well maintained, you'll see that sometimes games will burn in.
Oh.
The images, but that's really not a problem anymore with flat screens and HD TVs and whatnot. So
some people here, you actually like build your own arcade version. And
I just built one for my old boss like right before Christmas, and then we're actually in the process of building one for his boss, and then I'm building just a controller version for Chris and I.
How do you get that kind of, does it come with the instruction?
There's a bunch of guides online. I mean, that's the cool thing is there's a lot of these like communities of gamers and retro gamers, and there's a community of like arcade gamers that put up a bunch of guides for how to do the wiring, like what parts to order, things like that. So it's pretty easy to get at. Like when we finish up, I'll send you some links and stuff so you can find them. And then if you want one too, I'd be happy to put one together for you. Like I can do all the electronic like components of it, but I don't have woodworking tools, so I can't like build anything to mount it into, which is for me like the biggest challenge.
That's just like really impressive to me, because like a lot of like the Japanese people, I mean, they love to play.
There's not a DIY culture over there, is there? Do it yourself. Have you heard of that before?
We don't. So,
There-
I mean,
it's-
like home and pretty
you
much
always bring
everything,
somebody else in to fix it, and that's the case
Yeah.
mostly here too. But there's like a small subset of people that's do-it-yourself sort of thing, and the internet has really brought that forward too, because people can share their ideas and whatnot, and a lot of like, especially if you want to import a game system from like Japan, like this Famicom I've got has been modded to use the RCA, the red, yellow, white cables, so you can hook that to your TV without having to worry about all the RF and stuff, and the picture quality is better. But there is a big scene of that, and I've got several of my other systems that they've added that style of cable to it, so it looks better.
But that was like one of the, I mean, not really secrets, but one of the big things that a lot of people didn't know, a long time ago, or some people did and a lot of people didn't, was that the channels were different between Japan and America. And so for us on our Nintendo, if we didn't use the yellow and white cable, we'd have to use this little gray box that was like the one that you described, but you didn't have to screw anything into it. It just screwed right into the TV. And we used either channel 3 or channel 4. And then if you got a Famicom and used like the same cable, it wouldn't work on 3 or 4. And then so most people didn't think that they were compatible, but you could actually tune into channel 96 on a TV if you had a TV that goes that high.
But in the
and it
80s,
would
there
go
was no
through.
channel 96. That was they didn't add those later channels to TVs until later on with cable-ready TVs. So
Exactly. I think that's why you for a long time you didn't see a lot of the Japanese stuff coming over here, is because people didn't either they didn't have TVs that could use it, they didn't have a way to hook it up, or they didn't know how. They just tried to do the same thing, and emulate what they did with the American system with the Japanese one, and it didn't work.
and
like-
importing something new is expensive even now.
Yeah,
But
that's
nowadays,
true.
the Famicoms are so plentiful in Japan that I mean, they're. I'm sure a lot of those game stores are like, "Oh, Americans want this stuff? Here, take it, please." You see those game stores over Japan. Even now, that they're floor to ceiling Famicom games, and I'm sure everybody in Japan that wants a Famicom pretty much has one at this point. And that's another weird thing. You can't resell games over there. Did you ever do that growing up? Like
Yes,
sell them off? I guess you can't now, but back then you could.
Yes, we could.
You could sell them off.
Yeah, I don't. My brother and I, tended to to collect everything.
Mhm.
We didn't maybe want to sell what we got.
Hmm.
So, but I do remember there are. What was that? The name of the shop here, the GameStop.
GameStop.
GameStop. Yeah, we had those type of franchised the Famicom stores.
Right.
Yeah, and then we could. Yeah, we could.
And you probably didn't have game rentals over here. You know how they're like Blockbuster and like there's stores that like rented movies. They also rented video games back in the day, and I'm sure
there might have been some places, but I don't remember.
Yeah, that seems pretty frowned upon, or maybe even illegal over there, because they tried to make it illegal here too. Nintendo tried to make it illegal, but they lost in court. But that growing up though, that was
for the disc system. I remember at the Famicom shop. I mean, you could actually like get the new game. The rewrite.
Right, for cheap.
The new game.
We never had
just for $5,
and we never got the disc system. So
okay.
Everything on us is just cartridges, and that's kind of the reason why I got that, because there's not a lot of when I get Japanese games, I tend to get games that were only made in Japan that we didn't get. The disc system, there isn't a whole lot on there that I'm interested in playing because it's. But there are a few American games like Zelda and Metroid. It sounds different. There was like enhanced sound. So my nerdy self, I want to hear how the sound sounds like on Zelda on the disc system as opposed to the American version. That's all. That's all it is. That's all. I mean, the monster growls on that, whereas on the American version, it's just a regular generic sound effect. That's the stuff that fascinates me as an adult.
No, that's awesome. I remember that was just like very exciting to me.
So you had
just
like
system? Pay $5 and then get the got the new game,
right?
And then they have like a huge like kind of like the vending machine type of like the rewrite.
So you would just do it yourself, right? You wouldn't even have to give it to a person.
Still, like I mean, if I was just a little kid, I mean. Someone at the store and like had to do it,
right?
But I don't remember. Maybe like older kids could do it by themselves. But you see that like Mario is like pushing the inflator.
Nice, awesome. The bicycle
like,
tongue.
Luigi
Yeah.
was like.
So it'd be on a screen.
Deflated, and then like,
so you'd see this on a screen while it was loading.
Just getting like a bigger and bigger, and then so by the time that the Mario like the finishes like inflate the inflating the Luigi, you get the new game.
That's awesome. My wife and I really like because we're both learning Japanese. But we don't have a lot of time to put into it, so it's a kind of a slow progression. So we can read a little katakana, a little hiragana. That's about it. So a lot of times when we find a stack of Japanese games that are cheap, we'll just get them and then take them home and then figure out what they are.
Yeah.
And we bought a stack like that big of Famicom Disk System games, and we got to the middle of them, and there were like 2 or 3 that didn't have labels on there, and it was like a handwritten label. I mean, like the disc was the same, but it looked like somebody had put something else on it. They'd erased it off, and it probably is it's probably one they got from the machine, like you had.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome.
What let's see. So your brother's 3 years older. What was he into, like RPGs or like more mature games? And I mean, because I imagine if I were in 3rd grade, I wouldn't be into something like Dragon Quest.
Yeah, I remember the last Dragon Quest I played was 5.
5? That was on Super. Did you have a Super Famicom?
That was on Super Famicom?
Yeah.
Okay. Then,
4 was the last one on Famicom.
Oh, okay, so 4.
Yes. Look at me, schooling Japanese guy. I'm sorry. Sorry, I don't.
I just
no, that's fine. You're not a gamer now. You're remembering all this from 20 some years ago.
And then Final Fantasy 3.
3, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So 4 was Super Famicom.
Yep.
So yeah, 3. Okay,
so you played all those.
I got this right.
yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Let me show you what Tatton got for me at MagFest. It's the
that's
Yamatsu. That's the guy that composed the music, and he's got a band, and he got his mates to sign it for me. So now I've got that. I can't read it. I don't pretend to even want to learn Japanese at this point in my life.
Yeah, like, and I remember
because
you have to save it like
right.
Many times.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And those were brutal because they
just little shock.
Yeah, RPGs were not popular over here. They were very niche over here.
Oh,
they were more in the computer game realm.
Oh.
Nintendo was kind of seen as like
even nowadays.
It got better.
Okay.
Like on the PlayStation era, that's when RPGs got a lot bigger.
Okay.
But they're still kind of niche over here. And now they've diversified. You've got Western RPGs, which are more computer style.
Okay.
Then you've got JRPGs, which are more. Detractors will make fun of calling them immature and stuff, but it's a lot of anime influence, a lot of that sort of. It's hard for me to describe, but it's bigger now. It's a bigger niche. There's like there's Japanophiles over here. Obviously, it's how you make your money because half your students are Japanophiles that want to just want to play Japanese RPGs. That's the only reason they're taking Japanese. But,
because I remember when I was in 5th grade and 6th grade, I just played RPG, Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest all day.
Yeah, and you had to. I mean, you had to grind. You just had to play. You had to gain your levels and gain your levels and gain your levels.
I ate and went to bathroom. Other than that, I just spent all day. And then again, my parents were not that strict. I mean, they didn't really care how many hours we would spend for the
when you were younger. Which is funny because you were telling me how you got away from playing video games. You started to just drop games completely. You went cold turkey and started worrying about your studies, right? So that you could.
Somehow.
Was it encouraged, or did you decide this yourself, or?
No, I actually decided by myself.
Really? At what? How old were you?
I was in the 8th grade.
8th grade. So when you're going into high school.
Yeah. A couple of years before I went to high school.
And it probably. So this would have been 1990-ish then, when you did this. So maybe
I think so. Yeah.
Maybe with the Famicom dying off a bit, and with the Super Famicom coming on the scene too.
Yeah, the Super Famicom was there, and then a lot of the friends got Super Famicom first, and then I somehow knew that if I get Super Famicom, I probably wouldn't study at all.
You wouldn't be here. You'd still be stuck.
And then you have heard about the the
otaku culture.
No. I mean the horrible entrance examinations for the high schools, and it was. Now it's getting better, but it was really bad when I was in junior high.
Yeah, because they really prep you a lot for that. That you really have to. You have to do good on that.
This was Japan at its economic height. This is right before their stock crash and their real estate market crash.
Yeah.
So I mean, this was
true.
1990. I mean, that was the peak. Everything was riding high, and it started to go down quick.
And then again, I had my brother was 3 years older,
right?
And then
did he take the same route?
He actually, I mean, and he couldn't. To go to the high school he wanted to. So I saw
you saw
him.
by example.
I wouldn't say the failed, but I mean I saw.
He got second. Second.
And then he got the second one, and then I could clearly see him being not completely happy about, and then so that made me,
it's a good motivator.
Decide,
because when you're the oldest, I'm the oldest. You don't have that person to see the path to go through it. You don't. You kind of have to feel your own way.
Being the second,
there's no one setting any bars for you or anything.
It is a subtle difference. So you stopped. Did you sell everything then? Is it still in your parents' attic, or do they have attics in Japan? I mean, houses are small, so you don't store things, do you?
We have
you don't. Do you have Japanese hoarders? Do you ever see that show in this country? Those people that just fill their house full of crap.
I'm pretty sure there are a lot. Yeah.
That's amazing. You see those stores that.
But I mean, they. Most of them live in a small apartment.
Right. But it's like the IKEA store. I mean, you live in a really tiny space, but they go floor to ceiling, and it's all super organized. And
what's the fondest memories that you have, playing your Famicom growing up?
Famicom growing up.
What's your favorite game? Or what did you enjoy? Did you like RPGs? Did you like sports? Did you like? Because I heard also that you played baseball for a while and then you kind of got burned out with it.
Oh, the baseball game, the Family Stadium.
Yeah. Oh God, RBI
that
baseball
was
in America.
Definitely.
I think that's the first game you and I played together when I saw it. Yeah. I think it creamed me.
Like how many cities do they have?
I think it was 10.
10, right? Yeah. Because we started with the original one, the first one, and then I played 3 or 4. Maybe
I think they did one every year.
Oh, okay.
But they kind of
actually, I've got a version of that that's all like Gundam and Kamen Rider characters playing, but it's still like the exact same RBI baseball game.
And then the older version, like I remember, like one version has like special like Namco team, and then they have like Namco game characters.
Oh
the
yeah,
players.
like
All the,
Pac-Man
yeah.
Oh wow.
And then that was I love that version. Was it the first?
I don't know too well. I just bought a couple because they're dirt cheap. Those are like 50-cent games, but I love them because it's it's a game I know in America.
Oh.
I'll play the Japanese version. It's funny, the American version. They brought it over, and they used real players. They used the real American players, but since the Japanese graphics, all the players are white, obviously, in Japan. So they used all white players, even though the actual real Major League Baseball players are black. So I play as my favorite team, and there's Eric Davis coming up to bat, and here's a white, fat guy sitting at the plate. Eric Davis is a rail thin, skinny black guy who's super fast. It's awesome. It's hilarious.
It is. Yes.
So, like, but what other stuff were you into though? Were you into like was like anime and
get me all the classic the Famicom game, and
right?
I like played most of them, and I remember I loved most of them. I loved the balloon fight.
Oh yeah,
I loved the what was that, the tanks, like you. I forgot the name, and then the ninja. What was
it the one by Jellicoe?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember the name of it. It's like
the ninja game.
Let me find it.
And then the Hyper Olympics.
This one?
Yeah, Jajamaru-kun.
What's it called?
The Jajamaru-kun.
Yeah,
I love this one.
I'll call the Jellicoe Ninja game.
I love that too. And then the Hyper Olympics.
Yeah, oh yeah, track and field. Mm-hmm.
Did you have the special what do you call this? We somehow like we create our own the katakana vocabulary in Japanese.
Right.
So we call this like controller or something.
Right.
Like
Yeah, it's the same. Controller.
The same thing. Okay.
Yeah, let me show you what they gave us.
And then did you used to have the special controllers for the Hyper Olympic?
Yeah, we had the.
It comes with
like
only like 2 big buttons.
I think.
Didn't have that one. That was on Atari.
Yeah, the Atari had that one, but the Nintendo
okay.
didn't. The Nintendo had what they called the Power Pad, which was it looked like one of the dance pads they have for Dance Dance Revolution at the arcade, but it was like a plastic like mat that you sat down, and it had like a 1 and a 2 on it.
Okay.
And then you ran on it to do different stuff. You would jump to do the long jump. And
I think they had
okay.
that too. They had because that was Bandai product. I'm sure they released that like a dance mat. But here's what we had.
Oh, okay.
We had
the special
the NES Advantage, and this was
to play Hyper Olympics.
Well, here's the thing: rapid fire. You push this down, and you just hold it in. Just go.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's how I played track and field. I just cheated with this thing.
See, like our special controller comes with only like 2 buttons,
right?
And then they were just like the twice or 3 times as big as these buttons,
right? They were, but they went left and right, or no? They were okay. They were A and B, yeah. Because the Atari had one. And then that was like that.
We used like coins or rulers, and then so that we can.
Yeah, there you go. Nice.
So that was Yeah, probably one of the best memories was my friends that.
Did you break
we
them?
just we just came up with the which way is the best, the first test. And there was actually, I remember there was actually the gamer celebrity type of person.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We call him Takahashi Meijin. It literally means Mr. Takahashi, the master player. Takahashi.
Was this
And
like
then-
on TV?
Yeah, he was on TV. I mean, he was the kind of the main advertisement, the person from the
Was he
the company called Hudson.
Hudson? Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the one who
It was a little
Master Higgins was made off of, I think. The guy, because he set the rapid
yeah,
fire record.
He had all those the special techniques, how to how to hit buttons.
Right.
I don't know, 30 or 40 times.
Something ridiculous. Something that you would never
per
do,
second
ever.
or something
Yeah.
like that. And he was on the TV commercial, and that he was the person we all admire, that we wanted to be like him.
Did they ever have competitions, nationwide competitions?
Yeah,
Did they?
they did. And then
Like actual tournaments for playing against
think
each
so.
other?
They still do too. I mean, I've never been
No.
the competition, but I think they still do too. And then what was that? I forgot what I was gonna say.
We're so let's talk about Sega for a minute, because I have my Mark III out here, and you were checking that out before we started talking. Did any of your friends have any of the other stuff? I mean, was there that nerdy kid in class that had their Sega instead of the Nintendo?
No, I don't. I think it was pretty popular.
Really?
I remember there were some.
I mean, it's
of
obviously
course, it was not as popular,
Right.
as Famicom. But I remember.
Now in Japan, Sega did a lot more than just video games. Because weren't they also like a toy manufacturer and make some other products and stuff like that?
Yeah,
And
I think so too.
Did you ever did you go out to arcades and whatnot? Did they have those in Kyoto as much as they do in Tokyo and the bigger cities?
I did. The you bought a bunch of the hyakuen, the coin.
100?
100 coin. And then I went there with my friends all the time.
And they weren't over here. They got a reputation as kind of being shady, because they towns would have arcades banned, or they would have curfews, and because there were too many kids congregating there, and there wasn't adult supervision.
Oh.
Teenage delinquency, which I don't think Japan has a problem with, unlike we do.
I don't think we had that kind of the problems, the image problem from I think one of the reasons was that they make arcade in one of the floors of the department store.
Right.
So kids can spend time in the arcade while their parents
dump them off.
Yeah.
gotcha. That's a
So
good idea.
I don't know who came up with the idea,
I mean, was that always oh, well, I wish I could play that on mine? And it was, was there any arcade favorites that you never get to play at home?
Arcade
I mean, do you remember Street Fighter when it came out, and where you couldn't, and everybody's just dying to play Street Fighter at home, and then it finally came out on Super Famicom? And I mean, I'm sure that was about the time you were in 8th grade you quit, but that's my example. I'm just wondering
I
if
think
there was...
so. I think it was just after I, the quit, the playing. But I remember I played the Street Fighter at home a lot at some point. Was that Sega or
Street Fighter was
was
Capcom, and then
Capcom,
they released versions on Super Famicom, and then I think the PC Engine got a version, and the Mega Drive got a version.
PC Engine. I had the PC Engine.
And by the way, you got me back, because when you took your last trip back home, you got me a PC Engine while you were over there, because I'd asked you for one.
That's
and
why.
You got one off Amazon or something really cheap for me, and I really, 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 really super appreciate that.
I got that dating game.
Oh yeah, I got lucky. I got the first base. No, I didn't. I think I gave that to Ted because he's into those. He plays those. So
I've got a handful of different ones all over the place, like a bunch of those different systems that are so.
Wait,
did you ever play those though? Did you?
No, but I've heard about the games
really?
a lot. Yeah,
I would say,
I loved it, yeah. And then there were just like actually like some goals, like like
treat her nice and she'll kiss you or something. All these terrible dating advice that doesn't work. There's all these kids being indoctrinated by how to.
Yeah,
well, and it's funny too because like I've seen because they have some guides that you can get that where people have like translated how to get through part of the game to get to like where you can see like some cutscenes and movies and things like that,
God,
and
why?
especially the laser ones. But what's funny is like I've gone to like some of the Japanese guides for them and like run them through like the translator, like through Google
Translator,
and it's hilarious because people have like broken down like every single response and how like every response like forks the story, and then they find like all the different ways, like you have these little paths you can take to get like more than one girlfriend, and then they can't find out about each other and things like this. It's just amazing. Like I look at these, I'm like, how many times did they have to go through and like play and record like everything? Like
these are your students, by the way. You're teaching these kids to do this. This is your fault, Teppei.
So it's online.
It's your fault.
Yeah, you can find some of these
they
online.
Put all those information on their like the personal blog or
There's a site called Game Facts, and it's kind of like Wikipedia where people can just write their own guide for any game and post it for free, and they'll host it for you. And it's sites like that people just spend way too much time figuring out every detail of a game. And those games in particular, that's your fault. I'm blaming you.
No, that's awesome. And then, well, I mean, they love like what they're doing. So I mean,
I guess
that's fine. I mean,
I think
just
we
like
need to make our
even
own,
if like they're
text
like
adventure.
some of my students, but like I'm just like helping them like do whatever they truly want to do.
Right. I just want to find digital love on my Famicom. My childhood friend is starting to fall apart from me.
It's amazing like how popular those are because there was I really loved the TurboGrafx over here in America, which was the American version of the PC Engine. It's all the same games, but it was a much bigger system. Like the PC Engine is really small, and the TurboGrafx was like, I mean, actually, yeah, it's like if you look at the second shelf up over there, it's like the one in the middle. I mean, it's really big, and I loved the way the games looked, the way they played, and everything. And I kept seeing. I used to subscribe to. Weekly Famitsu and Dragon Jump, and so I'd get these like
Famitsu.
Yeah. Like,
I did.
You got that?
Yeah, subscribe that too.
Yeah, that's
it comes with the like the game money, like what they call the gabacho.
Yeah,
and then if you like collect those like the game money, you can actually get a new software or the character goods. Or something.
And they had like they had the little stuffed slimes and statues and things like that. Yeah, I used to import those through a place just over off of Henderson called New Japan.
We went to the sushi restaurant.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So like right across from the sushi restaurant. Like I used to get magazines from there. So like every week I'd go and like I'd pick up all the Famitsus and read through them and. Not really read through them. Like, I had to go through them and I'd find these I want to translate. I remember I'd always see the PCFX, which is like the next version of the TurboGrafx. And so like when I was a teenager, like I loved it, and I'd get these videos from over there, and I'd watch like Dragon Ball like without subtitles and Sailor Moon and stuff, and they'd always have these commercials for the PCFX. Like, I really want one of these, and so. About maybe like 5 years ago, like I finally tracked one down and I was all excited about it. And so it came with 2 games and like they were both like those dating games. I'm like, well, I can't really play these. So I put it on the shelf and then everywhere I'd go that I'd see them, I'd like buy a new game. And like every time I'd get one, it was like another dating game. So
weren't
like,
those pornographic too?
Yeah. There was a bunch of them that were like they were kind of like really adult oriented, and I'm like, so I finally like look at all the games that are available.
Let's talk about that briefly.
And the whole system was like all like these adult dating games. I'm like, why was I excited about this?
Explain to me the pornography scene as a kid growing up in Japan. When do you discover this stuff? Was it banned? Was it? I know they're not as uptight as they are over here, but you can't show nipples or something, or they.
Well, it's just like so interesting because it's not really the taboo,
right?
In Japan,
Did your parents forbid you to see it at least, or was it like?
No, again, like they really probably.
Oh, whatever. Let him go in his little closet and do what he's doing.
I was not. Yeah.
But I'm sure like that, since it wasn't forbidden, you really weren't seeking it out either.
I was.
Did you hide it?
I was actually like I had like bad asthma when I was a kid, and then I actually like went to this like the special the school I actually like lived away from my parents for 2 years.
Oh wow!
4th grade to the 6th grade, and then the special school there were kids from the 1st grade to 9th grade.
You went to a special school for asthma?
Yeah.
Wow.
I went there like when I was in 4th grade, and so there were like the kids there too, and then of course older kids like already had those.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's your introduction.
So I could actually like and then they introduced pretty much like everything.
It's kind of cool actually.
And then they were just real stuff. No, they were not the animated version.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then
VHS tapes.
Yeah, fortunately, I could get those like the real like stuff first. Like,
cool. Okay, so
I
the
say,
other
like authentic stuff.
They threw you into deep end then.
So I like before I got into like I didn't even like have to get into the like animated like portion. So I guess like I was just lucky to have those like like older kids.
Right. Yep. I wish I had that.
Yeah, so that's and of course I had an older brother, so
right,
and he had those stuff too. So,
but your dad wasn't like hiding anything, and you like found his stash or something.
Wasn't, but my the friends' dads, they were always like hiding, and then we used to like the get together with a bunch of the other like the guys, and then went to the dad's room and then, like went through all this. Yeah, we did that all the time.
Nice, awesome. So see, there's not much difference. Everybody, we all grow up the same.
I remember the bicycles are big over there. So when we were in like the elementary school or junior high, everybody got their like own bicycles, and then we could just like it was just safe no matter like where you go in Japan. So the bunch of guys got together, and then we just like traveled like all over by
like how many
bicycles.
miles you think or kilometers? By how far away you think you'd get from your house?
I think sometimes we could get from this house to OSU or
like 10 miles on a bicycle is pretty far,
or maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then we
did you have train service there too? Or did you get on trains?
Yeah.
Did that pretty early by yourself?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Elementary school. I could use the trains.
I want to do that. I want to go there so bad.
Okay. No, yeah.
I know. I got to saving money and saving vacation time.
House to stay, and then we can just always like show you guys around.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So it's gonna be the Grateful Delia too.
So, see, that's the thing. I wanted her to be old enough to recognize that she's doing something really cool.
Definitely.
If I took her now, it wouldn't be any different to go to Grammy's house.
Like the airplane part sucks, but other than that,
you took your 2-year-old daughter on an 18-hour plane ride both ways. How bad was that?
We
Did
but
she
but
sleep?
we could take advantage of the time difference, and then so I remember that the first flight from Columbus to Detroit, we left Columbus Airport at around like 7 or 8 in the evening here, and then
Okay, so it was almost her bedtime.
yeah, so and then we took the flight from Detroit to the Tokyo. And then the Ren like slept most of the time.
Hot
in the
damn.
second, so that's
Wow, what a miracle.
That's
That's
how,
awesome.
yeah. Like so, yeah. But we just needed to. We carefully needed to take the, the flights so that like it was easier for Ren.
Did so we'll get off our kid stories.
Yeah.
Everybody hates kids
Okay,
stories.
yeah.
We're dads. We
Yeah.
do that stuff.
I know.
Putting Tatton to sleep over there.
It's interesting. Well, it's like with a lot of those plane flights because I did my job before my current one. Like I traveled all over the U.S. and it's like you get just the right place in the plane, and the engine noise becomes white noise, and you're just like asleep at no time.
Ah.
Airplane jokes. Now we're getting to comedians. Were video games mostly like a thing you did when you're home by yourself, or was it something that you and your friends did a lot together?
Both.
Both.
Mm-hmm. When you play RPG, of course. I mean
RPGs, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
What else were you into growing up? Were you into baseball? Were you into wrestling? Were you into?
I don't know. I was when I was in junior high, I was a member of the baseball team, and then when I was in high school, I was a member of the water polo team.
Oh, cool.
Oh wow!
Like, did you
So-
like go to like professional games or like did you keep track of baseball? Like,
Baseball. I did. Went to the couple of the professional. Yeah.
but you weren't like
games, too.
super into it or anything.
I wasn't.
It was just one of
really,
those, like, let's go to a
the
game today with
super-
your dad or
yeah.
whatever.
Mm.
Okay. Did you have any other like
I think
hobbies
it's
growing up?
I think it's the same. But here, but I think it depends a lot. Like what your dad like loves to do.
What was
right?
he into?
Yeah, my dad was not really into baseball. Like,
Right.
he was just really into the I think the horse race.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge over there apparently.
Mhm. Yeah,
Did he go? Did he take you to the track? Did you like?
I think so.
did you actually bet yourself?
No, he does all the time.
Did you make your own bets as a kid?
Me?
Yeah.
I think so. A
Yeah?
couple times. I don't think I won, but yeah. But I didn't think I won. But
That's how you
yeah,
bought your $5 Famicom disc reloads by gambling.
But he was really into
Because
the horse race. I mean, now you can just like do it like online.
yeah, I'm sure
And
the
then-
magic is like over
They
here.
actually have the special like the Famicom type of things. You can actually like buy tickets online using the special.
Yeah, they didn't have like a modem or something or a
Yeah.
satellite
Oh, wow.
service.
Yeah.
it's awesome.
And
Did you
then
do
he's
that?
got- no.
No.
My dad.
Your dad did it
My dad,
on the
yeah.
Famicom.
Uh-huh.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
I wonder if that's like rare or valuable.
But I'm really like happy that my dad was not like somebody like who would just like to spend like all
Degenerate
all the
gambler.
money.
Yeah.
I mean, but he was not like that.
So
at
he was
all.
more. He was
could
more
just
into like the
really-
actual horses themselves
Yes.
than the gambling
Uh-huh.
part.
He actually like they have the special newspaper for the horse race,
Right.
and then he actually like cut the important article and the information, and then like organize all the history of.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Did he
over the years.
would he watch like the Kentucky Derby and like the American races too?
I don't think he
No,
was into
wasn't it
the
like that?
American ones, but he was really.
Has he come over here? Have you brought him over here?
Yeah. No, not to Columbus,
Not
but
to
he
Columbus.
has like trouble all over
Is he still into it?
the horse race.
Yeah.
He is every weekend. He does it.
I'd say if you bring him over to this country, take him down to Louisville, take him
definitely,
to
yeah.
Churchill Downs.
Mhm,
Well,
definitely. yeah.
and have you played or have you seen the horse racing game they have at like Dave and Buster's and like at GameWorks, the Sega Derby Owners
Yes,
Club, where you get like the
yes.
little card
Yeah,
and you have
yeah.
to like train your horse and follow it through a whole
Little cute
career. And
horses. And then I think they actually played the traditional, like I think it's Western music, like tin 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 tin
Yeah.
tin tin tin. I think it was
Camptown Races.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Oh,
They kind of have that weird.
Uh-huh.
Japan likes to import a lot of the campiness of our culture. Like Christmas is big over in Japan, even though nobody's a Christian. No, and that's absolutely awesome. That's fine. I mean, that's fine. But like the Santa Claus and the decorating and all that kind of stuff. And why not? You know, it's fun. It's or the Camptown races from our horse racing. Yeah, so like if I go over there, I want to go to a baseball game and I want to see a pro wrestling match. I see Japanese pro wrestling. I got this this Japanese female pro wrestling game it's called Cutie Suzuki.
Cutie Suzuki.
It's beyond ridiculous. And she's out all like smiling and stuff, and then you like YouTube one of her matches and it's like the most intense professional wrestling you've ever seen. Because over here it's more show than actually doing stuff in the ring. And over there it's really hard and stiff. Even though the matches are predetermined who wins, it's like stunts. The action is very stiff, and especially in Japan. And I'd like to see sumo, I guess, too, or something more traditional.
They have like so many different, but they have serious ones too.
Right, but there's so many. There isn't like one dominant thing that. Is there like one dominant thing that everybody's into over there?
The professional wrestling,
or just like or like hobby or sport or like national entertainment thing. It seems like there isn't one dominating. Like over here,
American
football.
Yeah,
like more people into football than anything else.
I think baseball used to be
Baseball used to be big here, and it's declined. And football's come up. Is soccer big now?
Same. And then in Japan too. And then a lot of people say like the main reasons are one of the main reasons are those like star players like Ichiro and then Matsui.
Yep.
They all
come to America now.
Went to the United States and then
Daisuke and I think the first guy was Hideo Nomo. I remember when he came over.
They say like they don't like have star players anymore, so that's just like make the whole games boring.
That sucks.
But there's still those like core Japanese fans.
But they like chant and sing through the whole game and play trumpets and. I was watching a travel show where they let off a bunch of balloons at the same time, so it's like a giant fart. I mean,
they do come to Seattle and New York and just to see their games.
Yeah.
And then like travel agency actually like
because Nintendo actually owns the Seattle Mariners. Nintendo of America, but Nintendo of America is the subsidiary of Nintendo of Japan, so they actually own American team.
That's awesome. I didn't know that either. Actually,
they integrate the DS into the like if you take your DS to the I don't know where they play now. It used to be the Kingdome, but you can take your DS to a Seattle Mariners game, and there's like a thing you can download and keep track of stats and all that kind of stuff with your DS during the game, and they have all kinds of things like that. That's why Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball is on Super Nintendo. Because he played for the Mariners back then, and that's how he got his endorsement that way. Because they were the owners of his team.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that's neat.
The more you know.
Yeah.
I have a friend that went over to Japan. He'd go over for like periods of time, anywhere from like 6 to 9 months, and like he was like a teacher's assistant for teaching English over there.
Yeah.
And he was a huge. Is it the Hanshin Tigers? So like the
Hanshin Tigers, yes.
They're kind of like the Red Sox, right? They never win. They're always good, but never win.
He was like a huge fan of this. Like every time he'd go over, like he'd always like have all of his stuff on, his hat, his shirt, like everything he could get that was Hanshin Tigers. And they were supposed to go to one of the playoffs, like when he was there, and it was always like if they won, like everybody would go and like swim in this river that apparently was like really gross. but that was like the thing is like if they win, you have to go and like swim in this river, and like everybody would get sick or something afterwards. Because he was all excited about it, and then they ended up losing
because it was the river right in the middle of the Osaka city. So definitely the dirtiest river in Osaka. I mean, like pretty much like all the rivers in Osaka are dirty, but like out of all the dirty rivers, I mean, but that was right in the city. And like where
there's
they
like
have
canals,
like all the restaurants and pubs and then they drink and then just jump off.
Now you were telling me, speaking about drinking, like your dad got you drinking beer at an early age because he wanted you to be a businessman. He wanted you to like actually get into that culture, and every time we're hanging out, you always got a Heineken in your fridge. And
it was Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, it's not like taboo in Japan at all.
No.
I mean, yeah. So, and then especially the Japanese guys at my dad's age, yeah, they used to like drink, smoke, and
oh yeah, that was big here too. You've seen like the show.
Anything
heard of that show,
in front
Mad
of
Men?
your kids, they didn't care.
Right. That show Mad Men on TV. Ever heard of that? It's about this 1960s. This advertising agency, but. They always bring in how everybody smoked back then at the office, and everybody had booths at the office, and people would go on lunch and have like a drink. Nowadays, it's pretty much gone.
Yeah, you can actually see it in the old movies or like old TV shows, and the dads smoking right in front of the babies.
Nice.
I mean, they just didn't care. My dad didn't care either.
Did he smoke?
Yeah.
Do you? Or did you ever?
No, I never.
Was it? Were they getting like? Is there anti-smoking?
It's getting bigger in Japan.
Because you could still smoke in a lot of places over there in public. Can't you?
I think so. Compared to the situation in the United States,
here. And I know drug use is horribly frowned upon there, like marijuana and that sort of thing. You can't.
No.
How do we get to marijuana from freaking video games? Whatever. It's fun. It's all good.
That's fine.
Yet here's Mario eating magic mushrooms and growing double his size, and squishing turtles. Well, that was always the joke over here. That man, Mario's on mushrooms, man, and the hippies would always say that.
Mario's on mushrooms.
How prevalent was like all of the marketing of video games over in Japan when you were growing up? Because over here, it seemed like almost anything that was directed to kids like had video game stuff in it. I mean, even like our sports magazines, things like that, there were always like video game ads in there. And TV, there was like always like you couldn't go a commercial break without seeing a TV ad for some game.
I think it
was it like the same kind of over there?
How many? The same. And then I remember like what I was gonna say. Last time the video games were huge, like when I was a kid, and then the video games got popular, and then they make like comics or animation like out of those like popular
right.
games. And sometimes they even like make movies.
Right. I've seen some of them.
Yeah. So I thought that was just.
But that wasn't around when you were a kid.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they. Yeah, I don't think they do that anymore.
What what was I going to ask? It was something along. Crap. What do you have? I had a question. I forgot it, and I don't want to like interrupt. So.
Well, the other thing I was going to ask too is like when we were talking about the arcades, you mentioned that like a lot of times they were in the department stores, so the kids could go and play games, and parents would go shop. Were the arcades kind of all ages? Was it mostly just like kids and teenagers, maybe college kids?
Yeah. Did girls play too, or was it a boy thing?
When I was a kid, I think it was mostly boys, but but girls were there too. I mean, it was more popular among boys.
I can imagine the girls playing Super Mario just like when I was a kid, or Tetris, or
and then what do you call that? Like we call it like U-Haul catcher, like this kind of crane game.
Yeah, the crane games.
Yeah, and then those games like came to the arcade, and then have you heard of the print club, Purikura? Mm-hmm. The those like boxy type of like picture making.
Yeah, the little tiny square pictures.
Yeah. Those games like became super popular among girls, and then since then the arcade the arcades have been popular both among boys and girls.
Yeah, because your UFO catchers are really hard. Because like ours, like you have like three hands on the claw,
but.
And then the UFO catchers are like the two, and you have to like pinch it just with the two.
Does anybody ever win that shit? Or no, let me guess. There are experts, like the guy that had the 30-button technique that can actually win any UFO game. He walks in with his sunglasses on and just plops his 100 yen coin into a UFO catcher, gets any toy he wants and hands it off to a girl and just and leaves. Destined to, that's his only skill in life, is to win UFO.
So now, yeah. So now they are like popular both among the boys and girls, and then I've heard that the arcades are getting maybe popular among old people now.
Well, there's a television show that I'm into now. It's called Game Center CX. Heard of that? It's this guy. It's kind of like Japanese version of reality TV. Seems like they're kind of in character, but actually doing something. So he's pretending to work at this company, and he's playing old Nintendo games, old Sega games and stuff, and just has to beat the game. And he's an average player. He's okay, but if he spends 12, 13 hours with it, he'll actually go through and beat it. But he'll like take faxes from friends and exchange business cards with people, and it's awesome. I mean, but so what was I getting with this show?
Japanese guy?
Yeah, Japanese guy.
A comedian?
His name is Arino, Arino. I think he probably was a comedian at some point.
Yeah, I've heard
So he'll
about
like
that.
wear like the little cooling patch on his head and eat snacks while he plays.
Yeah.
He'll make jokes and like the whole crew is behind him. So it's like a reality show, but then he plays a character of a guy as in the company. So it's kind of like semi-reality, like a lot of Japanese shows, I guess, are.
He's a comedian. I've heard about him. He's actually like one of my favorite comedians.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool. And he
Yeah,
did a
and
special where he
I
came to
remember-
America, and they were looking for American arcades. So he went to like a game store, and then they don't have too many arcades in America anymore. So they went to a laundromat. Like people play games at laundromats while they wash their clothes. So he's like with like one of his production guys, and he's like, whoever loses this game has to take off his shirt and wash it. So the assistant lost, and he threw his shirt in a washing machine and was like shirtless, and he's like, I hope Americans don't think of. I hope we don't ruin our country's reputation by being shirtless playing arcades. But yeah, they're actually translating some episodes and putting them on DVD over here. But it's fascinating to watch.
Yeah, I've actually read an article that is like doing that show, and it's actually getting popular in the United States. Is that? I wanted to see that. Yeah,
there's some on
definitely,
YouTube that I guess are of dubious legal quality, but they've subbed them for us, subtitled them, and that's the way to watch that stuff. And
that's great.
It's really they even made a DS video game about it. Like they have these faux old Nintendo games on your little DS, but you have to like go through them because you're stuck in a time warp or something. It's pretty fun. But so that culture's there, obviously, and it's been on for several years. It's been on like 8-9 years now. It's ridiculous.
Wow, that's great to hear. That
what do you?
I'll definitely.
So what do you
take
do
that
for
on
like
YouTube.
do you order DVDs from home a lot, or what do you do for entertainment? Do you just stick with with American stuff now, or are you are you just too busy being a dad
for the Japanese entertainment?
I mean, what do you do now when you're living here in this country? Do you just watch what your wife watches, or do you import stuff over to watch, or?
Oh, that the bookstore next to the Japanese restaurant over there, the Kenny Center.
Yeah,
they have a lot of like the Japanese
Do you buy a lot
DVDs,
of them?
and then I can actually rent them.
Oh, you rent them? Okay, yeah.
For a week, for a couple $bucks, and then I rent them every week.
Really? So that's good. So you get your fix.
Yeah.
Is it hard but it's hard to keep up with new stuff then, or is it movies or TV shows?
No, it's they're pretty up to date.
Really?
But I mean, like a couple weeks behind.
Yeah,
is
only a
it
couple
easy
weeks.
to keep up to date with what's coming out new over there? I mean, if I were away for a long time, like I was into music when I was in college, and nowadays I don't buy any new music except for those bands I was into back when I was in college. So I'm thinking maybe if I'm out of water for so long, I'm only like, well, this show's been on for 13 years. I liked it back then. I'll keep watching that show. But watching new stuff would be harder to find out. Or
I love the comedy programs over there, and then the popular ones. Yeah, I think it's very easy for me to keep up with the comedy.
And I guess TVs are better than movies over there, right? Like movies aren't like full feature movies, like Japanese movies. They're not.
They're not that big because because here are the Hollywood movies. Because when Japanese people go out and watch movies, they usually watch Hollywood movies.
Right.
So they don't.
So the homegrown ones tend to be anime anyway, and those tend to be the better. Do you watch a lot of that?
The anime?
Yeah, I'm not into it.
Not anime, but but when I was in elementary school,
Back when it was
not in
actually
junior high
cartoons
and
for
high,
kids,
yeah.
you liked it. So
But I read manga a lot, the comic books. Yeah.
really,
I still I still keep
like
all,
adult
keep all
type
of
stuff, or I guess it's the whole range of it. Is it adult type stuff or?
them.
See, I'm a manga
I think-
idiot, so don't
No,
mind me and my
I
stupid
think-
line of questioning.
No, I think it's yeah. Now I think it's more like the you know the manga comics for adults. Yeah.
Right,
They do have a lot of serious ones too.
right. But
And,
you just like the funnier. You like comedy more.
Watching
Watching,
comedies.
right.
But reading manga comics, like I read the serious ones and like the funny ones. And I read any kind.
When you were young, like, did you like watch like Doraemon and stuff like that on TV?
The Japanese.
Yeah.
dramas? I wanted to, but I haven't maybe had the chance. Yeah. And I watched a lot like American TV.
Right.
Was my wife too. The popular ones.
Is the sense
Family
is it-
Guys and
Yeah, do you get that
South
sense of
Park.
humor? Does that do you get that?
I'm actually getting better.
Yeah,
at it.
it's because it's
Yeah.
really what's funny over there and what's
It-
funny over here.
Oh,
and
it was hard.
I can imagine because
It was really hard.
it's
'cause-
even hard for a lot of people in our country who are older that didn't grow up with that or don't
Because-
get the references or
Because you have to know a lot of things, the popular culture things,
Right.
and then hidden like the information.
and there's a lot of
the-
sarcasm over here that I don't
Mhm.
sense in Japanese
Yeah.
humor.
And I'm just getting better at getting it
Right.
every year, and I'm actually happy about it. Like, it's just like, it gives me a sense of accomplishment, like
So you can
as-
totally go back and be a hipster over there. You can wear your thick glasses and smoke your cigarette and pretend not to care about your stupid slapstick stuff.
And many times she can actually explain,
Oh,
like
that's gotta
why it was funny and everything. So I mean that helps too.
It's
Yeah.
the same with the reverse of that too, because there's a lot of anime series that will that references a lot of cultural stuff from Japan or from other anime that never came to the States, and so you'll find that again in like the devious legal area or dubious legal area where people do like the fan subs, like they'll subtitle it themselves. Like you'll get like a 20-minute episode and it'll come with 15 minutes, up to even explaining all of the
my God,
jokes
that's
or
not-
like why there's wordplay in different places or things like that, so you can like understand why why the joke was funny when they get to it, or you can get the
I saw
punchline.
cultural notes on the manga too. On every page, like they explain like what it means and everything.
Yeah,
That's
a lot of the manga will
pretty
take the time to do
impressive.
that.
It's impressive,
because-
but it's kind
Yeah.
of doesn't. That you're enjoying it on a different level at that point. You're not enjoying it as entertainment. You're enjoying it as like a cultural.
Oh, it's true.
You're
yeah,
like
yeah.
learning about it instead. So it's kind of weird.
Well, and it's also to think, some of it was from, a lot of the anime and like even in the games and stuff would get localized when they came over. So they would take all of the things that were really Japanese about it out and replace it with American things. So like the Alex Kidd game, didn't you say that they like replaced all of the
Right.
the rice balls
and
with
there was
hamburgers?
There was an Alex Kidd game that was released over here, and like at the end of each stage, you ate a rice ball. And then they did a newer version of it where they changed all the rice balls to cheeseburgers. Which is, I guess that's the stereotypical stupid American that eats cheeseburgers, right, over there.
Well, they did the same thing later, like in Pokemon. I think they replaced rice balls with like donuts. Like they just called them donuts because they thought it would look close enough. But yeah, it's like they would do that so much. I think a lot of people would get upset about it because they knew their differences, so they would import stuff by differences, and they're like, why would you hide the culture and whatever? And so now I think there's more of that education of let's bring it over and explain why and everything rather than just try to hide it. And,
But if it becomes too much,
It does. It's kind of, that's
just,
why I don't get into that. That's why people that are into Japan like too much are called nerds over here, because it's just, you kind of have to get yourself into it so deep that you lose your sense of reality.
Yeah.
You're just studying in front of a computer constantly and going to cram school. But had to bring up cram school once.
To be able to enjoy those
there's a-
lighthearted stuff.
Yeah, back in,
Yeah.
like a lot of the Nintendo games that they brought over, they would just get a really rough translation. And so there's a lot of like like pro wrestling on the Nintendo. When you win a match, it says "A winner is you." It's totally bad grammar. And now it's like a classic. I even have a T-shirt of it upstairs. It's just like the old guy with his arms up. It's just "A winner is you." But it's endearing. It's not even like, you know, some people will call it racist almost, which I don't think it is. It's just a mistranslation. It's not racist.
It's not.
It's fun. I mean, it's funny. They're not stupid. I mean, I can't pronounce any Asian words like that. I barely got your name right. So,
no. I mean, it's not racist at all. It's just fun. The people have to be able to laugh about.
Oh
this.
yeah.
I mean,
They laugh at our stupid ass that can't use chopsticks. So why the hell not?
Well, it's funny because everyone makes fun of the bad English, but then there's so much culture over here with wearing things that have kanji on them, and then nobody knows what the kanji means that they're wearing. So I'm sure it's the exact opposite.
I dated a girl who got kanji, or I think it was Chinese symbol. It was supposed to say artist, but it actually meant dry. So she's got dry on the back of her neck.
Yeah, I had a friend who I worked with at Toys R Us. Like he wanted the like the equivalent of like gangster like tattooed on his arm, the kanji. Well, he thought he picked criminal, and he ended up just picking like a crime, or like it was something that's completely like out of context, and he was so upset about it. I'm like, really? Like you tattooed that on yourself? You didn't even really know?
Yeah, I remember one time a guy was feeling hurt, and there was the kanji character meaning legs right here on
his forehead.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't know. It came from a professional sport team. Like
Maybe I don't.
they have red socks and
maybe for Dice K.
I thought it was really weird. I mean, it was
Where was this?
kanji character for.
I mean, where was this guy?
No. When one is in Huntington, West Virginia.
Oh, in West
and
Virginia.
at one of the American football game.
Wow.
There was a guy. Yeah. And then I was very funny because like
To you're the one laughing. Everybody's like, ooh, that's
if it was
mystical.
here, it was probably not that funny, but it's just
Right.
it says legs
on his forehead.
So yeah.
So since you work at the university, is there just camaraderie among the Japanese department? Is there like a camaraderie like with all of the Asian languages together, or is it pretty segregated? Like,
no,
like if you walk into a Chinese restaurant, you're gonna get dirty looks.
No, never.
Okay. I mean, because there's a couple Chinese restaurants we go to, and there's always a bunch of Chinese people there, obviously eating because it's more authentic than every other place. So I just kind of wondered, is it appropriate to take you there? Are you gonna? I don't know these things.
No, it's
Well, it'd probably
totally
be-
fine.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It probably because isn't there still like some tension between like because I've heard like a lot of times like a lot of Koreans and Japanese, like the two cultures like don't mix together, or some of the people
Definitely.
one to the other.
I don't know about the between like Korean people and then Japanese people. I've heard a lot of things that the relationship between the Japan
Wouldn't it be
and
kind
Korea
of like a rivalry, I guess, more
getting-
than like an actual? They're not
better
foes,
and
but they're
better.
kind of like one upping each other, and
Yeah, because I've
baseball
heard that
especially, and
yeah.
but I mean, like strategically, they're on the same side because of North Korea. So I don't think that. I don't know. I'm talking out of my ass. I'm pretending that I'm knowledgeable.
No, but but there are still tension among some of the Chinese people and then Japanese people.
Right.
Like, definitely, yeah.
because I remember like I had some friends who were Japanese and Korean, and they said like if we were back at home in either in Japan or in Korea, like we probably wouldn't be friends because because of their nationalities.
Wow.
But over here, like they were really close friends because there's so much
Because
diversity,
very
national
hard.
diversity here
So
that
I've never felt because in our department, I mean, there were a bunch of Chinese people, Korean people,
Really, yeah.
and then we all just get along pretty well.
That's cool. I mean, I wouldn't expect
Yeah.
that there would be. That's a stupid question. I just was thinking of something. There's a culture over there. It's like a shit game culture. What's it called?
Oh, kusoge.
Yeah, there he knows
yeah.
it. Was that around back then even when you were
I think, yeah.
like, this game sucks, but we like it because it sucks?
But people actually like enjoy, right, playing. And
ironically,
the kusoge, and then like I mean, and then they love to talk about how shit they are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it's funny, because like how how terrible they are, and then like I mean how could they like make and then and sell those games? Yeah.
Right. There's an internet guy. His name's the Angry Video Game Nerd, and he's kind of like the American version of that, where he'll review a really terrible video game, just like have this profanity laced, just scream every insult and profanity you can think of it. And he's actually pretty good. I actually kind of like him, but he's. And he's kind of like a movie producer, so he'll like take like a dump on a game, and it'll be like chocolate sauce and peanuts or something. It's literally a shit game.
Yeah, we do. We did. Yeah, when the guys get together, and then we talk about the games we played when we were kids. So yeah, we always get into that topic too.
Yeah, I'm sure, because I got when I got you a Famicom, I got you one of those pirate 190 billion games in one cartridge.
Yeah.
So I'm sure a lot of those are no fun. So you're like, what the hell is this? And I couldn't tell you the names of any of them, but
I think it's always funny, like when I played some games that they don't have like goals, like any sort of like the purpose or the goals to play those games.
Yeah, like what? Or do you know any?
The one helicopter game. I forgot the
there's
name.
one called Tiger Heli over here. I'm not sure what they called it over there. So it was just like an arcade game. We just got a high score. Yeah, there's that whole. I like those because that's what the original arcades were about. Just like Pac-Man or Space Invaders or that sort of thing, where you just had to get a high score. There was no goal. You just kept playing and playing and playing.
Oh no. No, I like those games too.
Yeah.
I think I didn't come out right. What?
I think I know maybe someone should talk about, because we were playing one last night that was kind of like an action game, like a platformer game, like Mario, but you had to pick like you'd start the game and you'd pick like a different head for your character and then like a different body. But then, like, you'd get to the first board, and then you're walking around the first board, and there's like a place to jump, but your character can't jump high enough to get up there. So you're going like back and forth trying to figure out like what they want you to do. And then we reset it. We were picking different bodies and different heads. Like, what are we supposed to do? And like there was like you'd kill like 3 enemies, and you were just like stuck there. You couldn't do anything. was it that kind of thing? Just like
I think so. Yeah, yeah, definitely. What was the kusoge I remember?
I was gonna say, is there any game that was like so bad it really like stuck with you all these years?
So bad. No. No.
You didn't buy any. Sorry, I'm not on the microphone. I'm on the microphone again. You didn't buy them yourself then, since you were pretty young? You got your parents to buy them, or did they just give you some money to go buy them yourself?
Yeah.
Do you have an allowance?
They gave us some money, yeah, to buy new stuff.
So did you ever like regret? Oh man, I had to save up 3 more weeks now to buy something else because I have this crappy.
Oh, I think one of the reasons that I just didn't maybe like the made up mistakes was that I was subscribing the Famitsu, and then I was actually like subscribing the another the family computer magazine or something
like the official Nintendo one, the propaganda magazine.
And then I was just like reading like those magazines all the time, and then they actually put the ratings on games. So and then I remember I was carefree reading those ratings like before I get those games. So that's probably why I don't really remember.
And Famitsu is vicious on their ratings. Like they would really pick their games apart. Because I remember like I'd see games that I would pick up like later, and then I'd like enjoy it. I like playing it, and then I'd go back and I'd go through all my old Famitsus and try to find where they reviewed it, and I'd find it to give it like a 14 out of 40 or something. And I'm like, this is really fun. I like it, and they hated it. It's I think I remember they were really hard on
like
things.
4 or 5 different people, right? Yeah, and then you need to find like which person like fits the your
Fits
the
you the
preference.
best.
Yeah,
because
fits
they
you the
had.
best. Yeah,
I don't remember at the time. Like
Yeah.
I remember. I don't know. I can't. It's been a while since I've been in Hana Gifts, but Akiko-san used to work there, and she used to like if she wasn't busy, like I'd ask her to translate some basic things for me. And I remember she translated the names. I could try to figure out which one was the one who was the one who I I'd really pay attention to, because there was one of the 4 who kind of lined up with the same kind of things that I like to play, and so I'd kind of like, if everybody else rated it bad and he rated a little bit better, then I kind of like held his opinion a little bit higher than everyone else's, because I figured, that it's more like what I'd like, kind of things that I'd like.
Yeah. So I think that really helped me not to get to.
Right. So you didn't have that.
I didn't have that. Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. What were the experience?
Mostly with me, I rented a lot of games, but there was a lot of crap I rented, like Athena.
Athena.
It was on a Nintendo. That was it was funny because on the front it would say #1 smash hit in Japan, and it was god awful. And then there's a lot of the movie games that were just awful, like the ones based off movies, like Ghostbusters and Roger Rabbit, and like over here, you're familiar with Atari? Yeah, okay. They released they were the first big console over here before Nintendo even. And if you ever played the really rudimentary graphics, but I had that generation of games first, and they did a game based off E.T. the movie. But the guy who programmed that was only given 6 weeks to make this game because he had to make Christmas time. So he's given 6 weeks, and it's awful. It's bad. People are returning it. It's not selling. They end up burying all these unsold copies of E.T. in the desert in New Mexico. Yeah, it's serious. Really, I mean, it's ridiculous. And yeah, that game's bad. But it's there's a lot of those games. Like when I was that age, and I didn't buy them myself. My parents just buy whatever's on sale. So a lot of those weren't very good.
Oh, okay.
A lot of the Intellivision games I had that just didn't pan out, and those were bad. And Nintendo didn't worry so much because if you got first party Nintendo games, they all tended to be good. And then the ones we did get that were first party were like Othello, which we play Othello anyway. That's just a board game on a Nintendo game.
It was...
So, but the stuff we rented was pretty crap.
Yeah, it was always, we did the same things. We had there was a place here in town called Farmore. And they used to rent Nintendo games for $0.25.
Okay.
And so, like my buddy and I would always go, and I'd stay the night at his house, or he'd stay the night at my house. We'd go and we'd take $1 and get like 4 games, with 8 games home.
Okay.
And like go home and we're trying to play everything that they had, and there were so many bad games that we played. We'd put it in, and even 15, 20 minutes later, we're like, no, I'll just take it back tomorrow. I think my best story for those is I used to when I got I had an American PlayStation, and I got it modded when I was a teenager so I could play Japanese games, because we had one store in town that would get Japanese games imported. And I was shopping around for some anime stuff, and I found this anime store that had 2 Love Hina games. And I was into Love Hina at the time, and I was like, "Oh, it's it's PlayStation games, it's an import."
Yeah.
And they had this thing in Japan called a Pocket Station, which was a memory card, but it was like a little Game Boy, so it had a screen you could play games on it. And both these Love Hina games would work on the Pocket Station. So the import games are really expensive over here. It was like $75 for each of them, and I bought both of the games because I was so excited that I found them. Well, I got home, and both of them were just John Kinpyeon. That's all it was. So I spent like $150 to get 2 versions of
Play
Junket
rock,
Yard.
paper, scissors.
Exactly.
Nice. And you can play with your buddy who has a pocket. Oh wait, nobody on this planet has a pocket station other than you and me.
Exactly.
And no, I'm not going to play it with you on your pocket station. It takes a watch battery. I don't want to get one.
You couldn't return those?
Yeah,
no.
no, because I opened them. They were brand new.
In this
So-
country, as soon as you open a software, you can't return it.
Yeah.
You could trade it in, but you'd only get maybe half the value or less.
Oh,
Exactly.
that sucks.
Yeah, because I think I did try to take it to the one store, and the one store
Okay.
they wouldn't even take it. They're like, "There's no
Okay.
way we can sell this again." I was like, "Oh man, I still have them both."
Well, I think it's been a pretty good interview. Do you have any other?
I did have one more quick question. Have you? Because I know you said that that you stopped playing when you were starting to get into preparing for high school. Have you gone back and played any games kind of since then? Like, have you visited any of the Japanese games for the systems you missed, like the Super Famicom or like the Sega Saturn or the PlayStation or anything?
Oh, since he got the original one.
No, like when
Yeah.
you were like in high school or college, did you ever get into it back again at all? Like even casually?
Oh, during the high school.
Or like, do you have any friends that had one that you go over and play?
Super Famicom.
I think mostly like when
PlayStation.
I visited one of my friend's house. I mean, and then they still had they had like the new version of Super Famicom and PlayStation, and then I got to play some of the games. So.
But you never got any of yourself. No.
no.
You quit cold turkey. That's admirable. And you're here now. Yeah. You made it. You're successful. Your parents are proud of you, I'm sure.
I just.
But they weren't
don't
never the
really
types that they were going to
consider-
bring shame
no.
on the family if you didn't go into the family business or anything like that. So
I really don't know about that. I don't just like because I mean my parents didn't really like show an interest about the.
well, I meant
You know,
like in life is success.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
They're happy with you. They're proud.
Yeah, but but my friends like I mean I don't really like the see the connection of like being into like I mean TV games I mean too much and then the being successful in like the other fields or,
Right.
I mean because a lot of my friends are like they still like playing I mean TV games a lot and then they were just like in the leading
Right.
in their field.
I guess the cutoff would be like the otaku people that would cosplay.
Okay.
But was there any of that growing up? Was that didn't come until later, right? Were there people dressing up as Mario and stuff when you were in school? Or that
in
came
my
later.
school,
No.
I didn't see those guys.
Or is that even a Tokyo thing? Is there a cultural difference between where you grew up in Tokyo?
I think I mean definitely the Akihabara is the place where
Right.
like I mean those guys like like get together and then especially I mean nowadays I mean they can just like get to know each other online
Right.
and then they create their own like events and
When did you come over here? So did you went to high school obviously, and then you went to school. Then you went to post high
the
school.
university in Japan and then graduated and then came over here.
So that was when 2000.
So 1999.
99.
So it's been about like 12 years,
13 years.
Yeah, 13 years. Yeah.
Flew by.
Yeah.
It has for me too. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
I didn't move countries, but it certainly doesn't feel like.
Yeah.
I still think the 90s is the last decade. I don't. Realize there's a whole decade in between there and now.
Yeah.
Was the plan to stay over here when you first came over? Or was
No.
it just to go to
I
grad
didn't
school
have.
and-
Yeah. I was planning to stay here for grad school, and then as soon as I finished the, my master's, I mean, I was going to go back to Japan.
When did you learn English in high school?
We all like start studying English when we were in junior high school.
Right.
So seventh grade.
Was this mandatory for everybody, or was this
mandatory for everybody? Yes.
And were you weren't like an AP class that everybody took it, or was this nationwide, or was this just your school, or?
I was just was like everybody else. Just public school, like where the like any kids from the same region come to the class, and
they still do that now.
Yeah.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay. You said the pressure is lower now.
Yeah, because they have less and less kids.
Right.
So there are not so much competition.
Right.
There,
Please take care of us when we get old. We won't be mean to you.
So yeah.
We should play some games. So I guess we'll wrap this up, and we'll play some games and record some segments with that. It's been a pleasure talking about this sort of thing. I think we got more off the video game track and got onto the cultural thing, but it's just as interesting to me. And
yeah, no, it is. It's definitely an interesting show.
Hopefully everybody else that hears this is going to be into that too. And
it was so much fun.
Maybe we'll do a segment like Ask a Japanese Guy or something. We'll take your emails and we'll ask Teppei and have him respond or something.
Awesome.
So we'll play some games and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks again, Teppei. And
thank you. I had a great time. Thank you.
Awesome. Bye.
Hey listeners, this is Tatton. Just wanted to take a quick moment and let you know that there's lots of great places you can follow Now You're Playing With Podcast. We have a Facebook page set up, which is Now You're Playing With Fan Page. We have a Twitter account set up, which is NYPW Tweets, or Now You're Playing With Tweets. And, of course, all the episodes are available for download from NowYou'rePlayingWith.com. So we hope you enjoyed the show. If you like it, please take a moment and send us a message. Let us know what you think about it. And we hope to have some more shows coming for you soon. Until then, thanks for listening.
Now you're playing with podcast.